Welcome to How to Drop Your Friends, the call-in podcast for cyclists. Today we have retired World Tour pro rider, cookie connoisseur, Phil Gaimon. We answer questions about raisins and cookies. Good? How to balance training and content production. And finally, we dig into some World Tour team drama. Phil, thanks for coming to the podcast.
Great to be here. I'm being licked under the table right now. I'm not sure I could narrow that down to one dog.
It's probably both. That's one of the many benefits of coming and being on this podcast.
Yeah, it's a moist chin. It's nice.
So I guess I wanted to start things off by asking a really important question. Do raisins belong in cookies?
Oh, absolutely not. I don't think that's raisins. Oatmeal raisin cookie is a breakfast. It's not a cookie. So I'm not saying it's not a valid thing to eat. Mm-hmm. I mean, personally, I won't have one, but it is definitely a bad cookie. It could be a good breakfast.
Have you ever had a good oatmeal raisin cookie, or?
I think that's an oxymoron. I just don't think shriveled up. Is it a fruit? What's a raisin exactly? A legume? I don't know.
Yeah. Is it a grape? I think it's a...
Well, it's partly a grape. Then what's a grape? A grape's it's not a fruit or a vegetable.
I never thought about grapes this deeply.
So there we go. Yeah. We started early. But no, I just don't think raisins have any place. And that goes with there's what other stuff do people put in cookies that don't belong there?
Let's see.
Cranberry, you know what I mean?
Oh, there's just a lot I guess any of those dried fruits are kind of a no-no. So fruitcake is also a no-no.
Well, that's a different category. Like a fruitcake is a fruitcake.
Okay, yeah.
But a cookie... I guess it's a pet peeve of mine for someone to chocolate chip cookies existed for I don't know how many centuries. It's a very standard thing. People are like, oh, but I put butterscotch in mine. It's like, who do you think you are? Do you think you figured out the code to improving a chocolate chip cookie, or can you just make the best cookie that's available? Your job is to respect the task and do your best at it, and people just kind of ruin it.
See, now I'm really intimidated. I haven't ever told you.
You baked for me.
No, I haven't. Because I'm afraid
What's
to.
What's that
smell? I have a chocolate chip recipe that I've been working on for 3 years.
Wow.
Actually, longer than 3 years. I worked on it in New York, and I've been in LA for 4 years. Mm-hmm. So it's been probably 5 or 6 years. The last 2 years, I haven't really worked on it. But I've been too afraid to make these cookies for you. And now I'm definitely... never going to share this.
Pull the cranberries out of the recipe.
I put butterscotch. Sure. I put cranberries. I did put cinnamon in. Just a little cinnamon and vanilla. Yeah, exactly. Here you go, Phil.
I have a buddy, my friend Ben Foster, who I did a ton of training with, and he moved. He was perfecting his cookies for he would just ride with them, wrap them in tinfoil, and he'd have them in the pocket, and I would get one. The deal was I would buy the coffee and he would provide a cookie every day. It was a great symbiosis. He moved outside of Telluride, so he lives at 9,970 feet now. Mm-hmm. His recipe's ruined. It doesn't translate to altitude.
Oh, yeah.
And he had to do all these adjustments, and it's just not quite the same. It was tough. It was years of work and refinement out the window.
He had to decide between Telluride and...
I think they'd already bought a house. It was a little bit too late.
Game over.
Yeah.
Those poor cookies.
Just to import them.
Those who know you know that you're cookies are a big part of your identity. Those who don't are probably really confused on why on this cycling podcast we've been talking about cookies for the last 2 minutes.
One of my favorite things is going on a cycling podcast and cycling doesn't come up for a while. I don't know if I'm ruining it.
No, you've come to the right podcast.
Oh yeah, bikes. Everyone likes cookies. That's kind of why it's funny. But when I wish I knew exactly the specific genesis of it, but when I first started racing, I was on Jelly Belly and making no money, and I had an English degree that was already pretty useless, and I was trying to do something with it. So I started writing a blog for Bicycling Magazine. They actually paid me. This is in a blog. This is pre-social media. It's 2009, but I had to write once a week, trying to live off prize money. And one week I was at some race somewhere, and I was like, yeah, this race sucked. I don't want to talk about it. And I just kind of talked about the cafe I went to and this really good cookie that I was happy about. And a couple weeks later, someone was like, yeah, I read your blog. You should try this cookie. And it very, very slowly snowballed into I became the cookie guy. And by my last few years, now I'm on real pro teams and racing in Europe. The bus would pull up and there'd be middle of nowhere Belgium, 2 people outside with a plate full of cookies. And what's funny was the World Tour was different back then, and people I sound old now, but you weren't supposed to have fun. It was all very serious pants, and personality was kind of frowned upon, and enjoying yourself was kind of frowned upon. It's just like that sort of
great.
faded away in the last few years. I think like I've seen guys like, I don't know, get to enjoy themselves and express themselves, but you're supposed to just fit into the box then. So like my teams hated it. They and the team doctors would be like, you're not eating those cookies, right? People could be spiking them with it. It's just like, no one's spiking my cookies with EPO, man. Like I ate all of them. I wouldn't eat if someone made me a plate. I would have one. Wow. But I will say from the years, at no point did I like throw them out because the team doctor told me to, which every time I had to lie. I was like, no, I'm not eating these. And just like, absolutely, I'm eating them. And mechanics would eat them. And I remember like showing up at, Roubaix, and I've got teammate Johan van Summeren who won it 2 years before, and people are giving me cookies at the thing, and he's like, what is this, Phil? I'm like, don't worry about assuming. I'm not going to explain this to you. Doesn't make any sense. It's fine.
Oh, man.
This is what I do. So when I retired, I was kind of allowed to like, well, there was no one telling me to stop eating the cookies anymore. So I'm like, I'm going to embrace this finally. And I have my Phil's Cookie Fondo, where I'm like, give the cookies back to the people. They were giving me cookies all those years. Now I'm providing the cookies, and I've gotten to like lean into it and have fun with it. And it's been cool.
Full circle. Cookie karma.
Exactly. Cookies,
I love it.
Coincidentally, they're circles.
Well, we're going to jump into some caller questions here.
Okay.
But before I do that, we should talk about bikes just a little bit.
Okay.
I'm curious, what's your earliest memory on a bike?
Oh, okay. I like that. So my dad he grew up in Germany, and they just rode bikes everywhere. So like our kind of summer vacations, wherever, like we'd go somewhere we'd go to the beach for a week, whatever, a bunch of bikes on the hitch rack, bunch of Huffies. And we'd go to Jekyll Island, Georgia. And there was like a little loop around the island that you could do on bike paths, like kind of golf cart style paths. And I would like do a lap with my dad before breakfast. Like, that was kind of the thing. Yeah.
Some of my earliest memories were just like riding around with my dad. My first proper bike, we lived in Minnesota. It was like, negative a million degrees for Christmas.
And Kelvin.
Yeah, Kelvin, exactly. Like absolute zero. And at the end of Christmas, I went down into the basement, and there was a bike there. That sentence could have ended in a lot of different ways, but there was a bike there. And then my dad took me outside in absolute zero. I was bundled up like the Marshmallow Man or the kid from the Christmas Story, and then proceeded to almost die on black ice on the bike, and then didn't ride again for like a while. So your memory sounds a lot more fun. Yeah, I can see why.
Are you a Home Alone guy or a Christmas Story guy?
Oh man, I'm probably Home Alone.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. That's also the right answer.
Oh, okay. Oh man. Okay.
I can recite that movie word for word.
That's really.
I probably watched it every day, regardless of the time of year.
Yeah.
At a certain age in my life, I used to set traps for my dad in the house. Yeah. Just like he'd walk down the stairs, and there's like race cars on the stair trying to. Like, I don't think I ever got him.
Oh,
but
man.
I certainly, I'm playing a game. I don't realize there's a man falling down the stairs is the risk.
For the listeners out there, I guess, and the viewers, you can't see them, but I have two little dachshunds that are ruining this podcast right now.
The boys or girls? Sorry.
One is a boy, one is a girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he has one good boy and one good girl, is what he meant to say. They're just protecting us.
That's right. They're ferocious. Today, I asked people to call in with questions. I gave them a hint on who you were, and now we're going to call them back and answer their questions. But first, we'll listen to what the questions actually are. So here is the first message.
Is it true that oatmeal raisin cookies are far superior to chocolate chip cookies in aerodynamics?
Definitely leave his phone number in the thing. All of it. It serves him right. I was wondering how many people I knew Stefan would call because he's a big fan of yours and a friend of mine. I don't know if he's a fan of mine, but I knew he would call, and we've already addressed the oatmeal raisin situation. Aerodynamically, I don't think it matters.
Here we go. I mean, we'll give him a call and we'll harass him anyway.
Okay. Yeah, that's how we're doing this. Cool.
Yeah.
What if he doesn't answer?
I cut it out of the podcast.
Good answer. You already have his voice asking the question.
That's true. The suspense is part of it.
Okay.
Hi, Mitch.
Hey, you called asking about aerodynamics, but really the thing we're worried about is you gave your phone number to a podcast, and now we're going to broadcast it live to everyone. I'm here with Phil.
Yeah, you're in trouble, dude. I'm going to write it on bathroom stalls, although I've been doing that for months.
This is a real podcast, so we're going to take your question seriously.
I'm sorry.
So we're gonna really dive into this. You claim that the oatmeal raisin cookie is superior aerodynamically to, I assume, chocolate chip cookie is obviously the control in this experiment.
Well, chocolate chip cookie is always the control.
Yeah, agree. I think we've that's good.
All
We've
right.
got a good, like, we can all agree on that. Now,
I hate to say I think he's right.
really,
I think the texture of the oatmeal raisin cookie is effectively like a dimple, like a golf ball,
oh, that is a good point.
which is advantageous because when someone gives you oatmeal raisin cookie, you want to throw it away like a frisbee as fast and as far as possible.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, you don't want to throw away a chocolate chip cookie.
Right,
You
they're
want to
naturally
throw away the
aerodynamic.
raisin cookie.
that's like an evolutionary trait.
you know, you're pulling me over to your side. I was ready to come in and just because you know, I like Phil hate with the burning passion oatmeal raisin cookies. But you make a strong point. What about like Levain cookies though? They are fairly irregular. They're larger.
Do they make an oatmeal raisin at Levain?
Do they?
I hope not. I think they'd have more
yeah.
respect. I haven't gone to Levain because Paderia is like it's honestly like a Thai knockoff
Yeah.
and a little bit closer. So I haven't been to the Levain in LA yet. I've been to the one in New York. So I can't
If
speak
they're
to
that
it.
irregular, should they have more fiber?
That's
Wait, we've moved on to like dietary.
He's just crushing it into cereal now.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so I think, I guess we're all agreed that oatmeal raisin cookie is aerodynamically superior while being inferior in every single other way.
Well, put it this way. As far as the aerodynamics are concerned, obviously, Zip should be making oatmeal raisin
Yeah.
cookies.
Yeah. It's the dimpling, the waves.
That was the thing
Yeah.
that Brad Huff was a teammate of mine that he would do this. And when we're like, anytime you hang out with too many pro cyclists, if it gets too dorky, it's really obnoxious. And guys would start talking about aerodynamics or something, and we're trying to enjoy our Chipotle, and Huff would just start yelling golf ball, spherical, just to ruin the conversation until everybody knocked it off. So that's where my head goes: is golf ball, spherical, dimples, and then we can move on.
That's exactly what's happened with cookies here today. All right, well, thank you for calling in. Thank you for harassing us. And I will bleep out your phone number. All right. Thanks for calling. We're going to go on to some other callers. Talk to you again soon.
I knew Stefan would call. Stefan Harrison. Who else? Who that I don't know? My mom might call. No, she doesn't know how to use phones.
I'm glad that this is the direction the questions are going. I was worried when I started.
I did the Ask a Pro column in Velo News for like 8 or 9 years, like a once a month. And at some point, when I was listening to a book, I looked back and like, it was the same question repeat over 3 years that like I even forgot. Answers were all different. It was always great. But it was like, yeah, this I'm glad this column has run its course.
Yeah, this is Alex. Question for the podcast and this cookie connoisseur. What is your opinion on raisins in cookies? I think it all started as a mistake for someone who didn't have chocolate chips or ran out, and they tried to trick somebody by saying they made cookies and they put raisins in there instead. They kind of look like chocolate chips. Mm-hmm. And also, if you're a former tour racer or pro racer, how's the team dynamic? Is there a lot of drama amongst teammates and people who think, maybe they're better than the others and they should have teammates doing more of the work for them as the GC kind of rider? Hope to make the podcast. And again, this is Alex. Bye.
I like
Raisin.
the range of questions.
It's like raisin.
Yeah, I want to answer even the raisin part.
Okay.
My first thought was like, oh, delete this one, and then when he got to the trick element of it, I'm like, okay, actually,
That is good. The conspiracy.
I want to discuss the conspiracy cookie theory.
The origin. All right. Let's call Alex back.
No, I'm excited. He won't answer.
This is Alex.
Hi, Alex. You called about raisins in cookies and where they came from and drama within pro cycling teams. I'm Mitch, and I'm here with Phil Gaimon. We're going to answer your question.
Awesome. Thanks for calling.
What's up, Alex? Thanks for the question. We like your conspiracy theory on raisins entering cookies.
Mm-hmm.
That there's the theory of there's the accident theory where like there was a bag of raisins that fell into the batch, and this guy was like, "Oh shit, let's just try and own it." You know?
Okay.
There's that, and then there's he ran out of chocolate chip cookies or chocolate chips and just put raisins in there. So in that version, it would be a mixed chocolate chip raisin cookie which sounds even worse than an oatmeal raisin cookie. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Yeah, Alex, what do you think that it was a deliberate or an accidental horrible creation?
Oh, well, now that he says that raisin and chocolate chip is worse together, that's definitely true. So if it was accidental, that might even be worse than deliberate.
So this abomination was created. But if that was the case, then somebody at some point had to be like, well, let's remove the chocolate chips and just do the raisins.
There's an evolution there that's really unsettling.
Yeah.
So we all agree that it's wrong. So I think that's an important start.
Yeah.
Place to meet. I think another problem with with cookies, and that's a pre-Instagram problem, but with a lot of stuff, like if you're ordering pizzas for a party, say, like, that everyone really just wants pepperoni.
Yeah.
But for some reason, there's just like a concept that you want variety, so you actually order 3 pepperonis, 1 cheese, and 1 veggie lovers, and everyone reluctantly eats the former and the latter, and the pepperonis are gone. And if you just did 5 but like, you just feel like you should have donuts have this problem. I think cookies might have this problem as well, like more of the cupcake, that sort of things. That it might just be someone that needed a variety in cookies and was like, well, let's just shit into this, mixing bowl with raisins.
Oh, sorry about my dogs barking on there in the background. Very stimulating question. I think that's something that's going to keep me up at night. Give me a little more detail on your pro tour question. What prompted the curiosity on the drama?
I guess it has to do with Tom Pidcock going to a new team, and maybe he thought he should be the next in line as the GC guy for Ineos. But I don't know. Obviously that's a team decision, and that might have led to his movement to a new team. And I wasn't sure if there is drama like that where a rising star is like ready to take over, but the team is still, pushing someone else.
I like that. I have a lot of thoughts. For one, I think there is drama, and everyone who's a pro cyclist, obviously you're doing it because you're hyper competitive, and deep down, even if there's someone who's way better than you, you want to be the one who's leading. And of course, you'd have to be sort of insane to do that if your power to weight isn't aligned with it, and you're not going to make any friends. You're going to lose your job pretty quick. But like deep down, everyone's hoping like, oops, the breakaway stayed away, that I was in just doing my job. And every team I've been on, there's been some, like everyone knows that about each other because that's the nature of it. But every team, there's been someone who does a poor job hiding it. and you're sitting at the meeting and it's just like, the sprinter saying, here's why I should be in the break today on a mountaintop finish. It's just like, dude, you're going to come last in the break for sure. Like there's no way. And if, I can tell 6 stories of that, just like, no. Like, no, dude, that's not how this is going to work out. For Pidcock, I think there's definitely weird things about that transfer. One, like, he's on a good team, and he kind of was the GC guy sort of by default, because, like, Garant's getting older. Garant's 39 next year. Is he? I forget if he's still racing. He's my age, maybe 1 year younger, but we're different athletes, so I'm not going to make too much comparison. But he's definitely like past, Tour de France winning ability, but he still can sneak his way onto the podium. He's very savvy. But obviously, like Pidcock would be, I think, their more logical leader in that. It's hard to think like what the power struggle would be between Pidcock and anyone else. What I see more is Ineos kind of just like falling apart in the last couple of years in a really interesting, weird way. It's hard to figure out what's going on because they still spend more money than every other team. To me, like everyone needs to be fired, involved in the roster and the budgeting there, because they're spending twice as much as Jumbo-Visma and getting half the results. That's just not how you want to do it. But Pidcock transferring to, they finally said is Q3, is it 336? I forget the numbers.
I don't even know the names,
yeah, I'm going to go buy some. Whatever it is, the sponsorship's working because I'm about to buy a 6-pack of Q somethings. But I just think about like, that's a small team. Probably like most of the guys on there, like there's no one, I'd be surprised if a lot of guys are making even 6 figures, but like Pidcock is by far the best guy on that team and by far the highest paid. And that's just got to be awkward. I'm just thinking about like a bunch of guys making 65,000 a year going for a training ride with a guy who like flew there private or is making 6 million a year. Like it's just a strange dynamic. I don't know. I don't like how that would pan out. And now like all those guys know like I've never had a chance to lead a team. That means they're never getting that raise. They're never getting off that team. I've been in situations like that. I'm like removing 2 zeros, but like I was on Kenda Pro Cycling making 12,000 a year, and I was the GC guy. And then they hired this guy Ben Day, who was 10 years older and probably making 60,000 a year. And it's just like, oh, I'm bottle boy now. Like, how am I ever going to improve my life? I'm making 12.
Yeah,
like this isn't. I don't want to be a teammate for $12,000. That's really tough.
That seems right.
So I'm seeing like all of that with. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how it plays out. I'm sure those guys will learn from him and have some opportunities and better race invites, but kind of a clunky, not ideal scenario from the looks of things.
Do you think the general vibe when something like that happens is like, are most cyclists deep down like those sprinters that think they should go in the breakaway on a mountaintop stage, or are there like, did you ride with people that really did just want to be a domestique?
I think you don't mind being a domestique when you're a certain age and you're being compensated and you have a good life. I'm guessing like the guys on that team are all kind of in the struggle tax bracket and hoping to improve their situation, get on a better team in a couple of years. That's sort of that the middle tier teams are all kind of like that. No one's like, oh, I'm going to have a career making like all I wanted by the end of my career was like, just give me $100,000 a year and a decent race schedule where I don't hate my life. And that's probably what those guys are kind of looking for. And plenty of dudes do it, but you don't get that unless, you win something to get on a trek or a team that's going to pay like a real wage and give you those opportunities.
Alex, thank you for the question. That was amazing. My big takeaway is that Ineos is currently the oatmeal raisin of pro teams. I know that's harsh. I'm going to get canceled, but I'm sticking by it. Thanks for calling in. We're going to go to some other callers, but really appreciate it. Have a good day.
They eat biscuits on Ineos.
See ya. Bye. Oatmeal raisin
biscuits.
Oof.
Yeah, it's a tough life over there.
I wonder if
I'd get off that.
Did you watch Bake Off at all?
No. Should I?
Man, I love Bake Off.
Yeah?
Just finished the latest season.
Okay.
They do weird things in their desserts. They have like saffron and dingleberry in it or something. And I'm just like, what is this? What is this? But it's really fun to watch the people bake because they're really incredible.
The problem I have with cooking shows is I want to taste it.
Yeah.
So you have to have all of them. I want to eat it.
Yeah, you have to have a treat while you're watching. Yeah. So when every season of Bake Off, I gain like 5 pounds because every single episode I'm like downing a whole tub of ice cream.
Okay. My thing is like I'm watching it and just getting like blue balls. I'm like, I want to try this. This looks really good, but I don't know. I don't trust these judges.
Yeah. Well, Bake Off might be good for you because I would say only about 20% of the food to me looks appetizing.
Yeah.
Most of it's just like, that's a fancy dessert I've never heard of.
That's the thing with, I think TV and Instagram when it works is like probably had a bad effect on cakes. Because like how do you say it? Fondant.
Yeah, the fondant. And
it's like, that doesn't taste good. It's not even supposed to, like it's edible technically, but it's not. But they make, like Duff Goldman is a hero and rides bikes but like those cakes aren't that, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
But they're not delicious. And what's a cake for ultimately? I guess
Exactly.
When you have Duff on here, you can ask.
What is a cake for?
2.5 minutes on bikes so far.
Hey, Mitch and Phil.
It's good ratio.
Harrison. My question is about content creation and balance. How do you balance going out for a training ride or just to have fun versus going out to make some content? Because those two rides can often be different. Sometimes I know you just want to get out for a ride and not think about talking to a camera or making a video that's going to take you several days or weeks in editing. Are there times you sacrifice your training rides because you know you need to make content? How do you manage that pressure? And how do you balance being able to get both types of rides in and still perform at a high level? Thanks for doing this podcast. I'll be listening in.
It's a good question. I am going to be horrible at answering this because my training is in the can right now and my YouTube channel I'm doing like 2 videos a month or a video every 2 months.
Hello.
Hey, Harrison, you called in and you asked a question about balance. I have no good answers for you, but luckily Phil Gaimon's here and he's going to share everything that he knows about balancing training and YouTube content.
This is not fair because I want to hear Mitch's answer.
I'll pipe in, but basically my attempt at balance is I do one or the other at any given time. When I try to balance them, I cannot be good at both. And so I found when I try to do a ride that's a good training ride and a video, both suffer. The training is bad. Like if I'm doing intervals, you just can't film and do a good training ride at the same time, unless it's like a base ride, I guess.
Right.
And then same thing with the video. Like if you want to have a good video, you're stopping, you're like shooting B-roll. I don't want to stop every 15 minutes on a bike ride. But anyways, that's my take. Over to you, Phil.
Unfortunately, that's kind of the same answer I have. It's make a good video, have a good bike ride, choose one has been my experience. And like, I do okay like taking the selfie stick on endurance ride, kind of like you're saying, and I can talk at it and then like pan over, and it's just that's going to be the style of video.
Yeah.
The KOM videos that I do are because you can't talk at camera in those, and I just hope whoever I have helping me like gets the B-roll, and then there's chest cam, and like those videos just aren't as pretty as I would like them to. Your videos are all like, the thing is your editing is better. We have different problems. Like my standard of the power expectations I have are higher than yours, and your video quality standards are higher than mine. So we have the same problem from different ends. But it seems we've arrived at the same answer.
Yeah. You have to pick one.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to, we're going to do a video together or something in Hawaii, and I'm looking forward to seeing your process. And because is the ride going to suck? Because I don't want that either.
Well, my process is, it can be described in one word, and it's called shit show. So it'll be good. I guess like maybe a practical tip for you, Harrison. We know each other. Everybody knows here. So I'm going to break the illusion on the podcast.
Who the hell is Harrison?
Who is Harrison? Who is Orange Helmet Guy? Follow him. In a lot of my videos, I use the Insta360, like 360 camera on a selfie stick attached to the drops of my handlebars and like shot out at like a 45-degree angle. And then I just turn it on and I let it run. And the nice thing is that because it captures 360 degrees, I can choose how I'm going to frame the shot later. You still have to pay for it. You pay for it in the edit instead of the ride. But that's been the only way that I have found to be able to get some footage and still enjoy the ride. Now, the downside is you now have a jousting stick attached to your bike.
You're a rhinoceros.
Yeah, exactly.
Unicorn.
So
Sorry, unicorns.
you gotta be a little careful when you're like weaving between cars, or if you take it on a group ride, you're never going to get invited back.
Yeah.
I have two follow-up questions if you can entertain. One, in regards to the balance, understanding that you can't really film a training ride and make a good story out of it, but knowing that you have to write and deliver good stories because, you have obligations, whether it's through, your channel that you want to keep fueling the algorithm machine, or sponsors that, you need to make content for. But let's say, Phil, I know you did, I think about 12 hours this week. You have to do 12 hours on your training plan, but you also know you have to make content. So how do you pick and choose what days you get a training ride in versus what days you purely just go out to make content? Because often, and do you guys find the days that you're making content is really not, does that really count as a training ride, or is that just, hey, this is my filming day, and you just have to go out and film and make some pretty video?
I guess it depends on like what the content is that I'm trying to get. Where mostly like what you're it would be an easy ride is where like, okay, now I can do a video or like a zone 1, which zone 1 isn't really great training. So like I don't do a ton of long zone 1 rides. So like before my Fondo, I went out with Harrison and we made a video about what the Fondo would be. And it was like, okay, this is a zone 1, zone 2 ride. This is, the middle of the week, and I'll do a bigger ride tomorrow. I'll do intervals a day before. And this is just like kind of hours on the bike.
Yeah.
And that's when it'll pass. But, between intervals, like it's just, it's also, I think if you're doing it and it doesn't kind of fit in your schedule, you're going to hate it, and it comes off in the video if you're miserable, if you're kind of dragging it. I've had some where I filmed it and just like, I'm just deleting that because I obviously hated doing it, and it's going to come off poorly on the audience. Right?
That's a really good point. I think one of the weird things about being like a cycling content creator is that both aspects of your job are mentally draining. So like training and doing like a good job with training is physically draining, but it's also mentally draining. And creating videos it's the same thing. And I have discovered the hard way this year that when I try to do both to the top of my ability, what happens is a big crash. and they both really, really suffer. And so I'm kind of like in the same spot that you are right now. Like I'm trying to figure out how to balance the two, and I'm trying to decide where I want to balance.
Right.
I don't know how far into your cycling journey are you? How long have you been cycling?
I've been at it almost a decade.
Okay.
But seriously into it only for I would say for the last maybe 5 years. And then as you guys may know, the content creation is a little bit newer for me. But I find there's days, hey, I just want to go out and get my fitness in, but struggling to find content to make a video when I'm just out looking for something to film is probably not the best thing, as opposed to like I know like as we all create content, right? We're going to sit down, we're going to write scripts, we're going to be at our computer and kind of think it out a little bit. But sometimes that's just mentally more than I just want to go out and enjoy the weather and not think about making a storyline. Yeah, to answer your question, about 10 years now.
I'd say definitely at a bare minimum, make sure at least a few of your rides every week you don't bring a camera. At least one ride, because there's no better way to like end up hating riding your bike than making every single ride.
Yeah, I wouldn't go out with the camera unless like I have something to say. Unless like I don't carry I carry my phone with me in case like there's a cool deer. Yeah. I got a lot of deer on my Instagram, coyotes, but like other than that, it's not, maybe there's a video today. Let's, talk camera, a bunch of stuff to edit and delete. I'm not going to go out unless I have like at least an outline in my head of, today's a video. I'm going to do this kind of interesting route and talk about XYZ. Yeah,
I'm the same way with all my videos. But before I start filming them, I have a concept in mind, maybe like a title, hopefully an idea of like how I'm going to package the video and like do the thumbnail and all of that. And all that's happening before I'm filming anything. It's really, really hard to just like, for me at least, to like go out on a ride and figure out something, kind of like you were just saying. I have like a whole list of video ideas. Then you can feel okay that you're going out and this is just a ride that I'm going to go have fun, because this isn't going to line up with the video that I'm going to make anyway. And then with the video that you're going to make, you plan out the ride around that video. It's the same thing like when I don't know if you've ever done any like modeling for any cycling company.
He does
creation.
A lot of lingerie modeling.
Oh yeah, lingerie. Oh, I've seen you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen the orange helmet in Victoria's Secret last year.
It's only the orange helmet.
Man,
that's it.
My
It's all he's wearing.
underground website.
Yeah, that kind of experience of like you show up on set and there's a plan, there's a shot list, and you're there to just like get those shots. And you may not, your ride, like if you were to record the Strava data on that ride, it'd be like a lot of stopping and starting, and it'd be the worst ride ever. That's how my videos are now. I will go do the effort and have like a GoPro or something on, and then a day later or a week later or however bad the ride experience was, months later, I'll go back and I'll get all the pickup shots afterwards. And kind of separate it that way.
Yeah, but I'm looking at Mitch's notepad. I have a similar one. Like when I'm going to do a video, say I'm doing a video for Girona, Spain or something. Before I leave, like here's the 6 things I want to get in that video, and it's this food, this kind of coffee, this thing, and I'm gonna cross those off, and then anything else that I can find that's part of the story, I'll weave in there. But it's definitely like a shot list and a plan of some sort.
Harrison, thank you for the question. Hopefully we're able to help you come to some answers and figure out how to balance your content and your training.
Absolutely. Thank you guys both for your time. Appreciate it, and I'll continue to listen in.
Great. Before you go, I have an important question to ask though. What is your favorite cookie?
Favorite cookie?
It's come up every other call, so we gotta include you in this.
All right. So my wife just found this recipe. It's this mocha peppermint, like hot chocolate.
If you could see Phil's face right now.
Yeah.
Peppermint. Yeah. I'm out.
Okay.
That's all right.
All right. I'll bring some over.
You and the dog can share them.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, that's brave. That's brave. I'm looking forward to hearing how that goes.
Mocha peppermint.
Mocha peppermint. All right. Thanks again, Harrison.
Peppermint. Thanks a lot.
All right. See you, man. Bye. Mocha peppermint.
See, a seasonal cookie, that's Harrison's new nickname is Mocha Peppermint. A seasonal cookie is already a bad sign because if it was good, we'd want it in March. That's another theory. Is like, that nobody really likes what's the Starbucks drink that only occurs in the fall?
Oh, the pumpkin spice latte?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like if that was really good, people would want it year round. They make it, it's all marketing and scams. But,
The dog's finally decided to...
Yeah, no one's
calm
licking
down.
my legs. It's terrible.
I'm sorry. There's only so much.
I'll get over it, yeah. Ours don't get tired of licking. Like, Creature will lick her paw for 8 hours solid.
Really?
Yeah.
Just keep going.
Just never, yeah. Just gotta, like, pull it away from her.
How do you take away a paw from a dog?
If you just get her tongue and separate them, distract her with something, she might move on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like giving an addict a new drug.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's a substitution. Lick my face, and then just break the pattern is part of
There's
it.
a whole new problem. Yeah. Next caller.
It's an ambitious structure that is working surprisingly well. I would not have the balls to try this.
It's pretty fun.
Not to mention even the technology of it.
I have to admit, I did not come up with this structure. There's this guy, Miles Bonsignori, that does it but he does like life advice.
Yeah, people do like call-in shows on the radio, but they have like, I don't know, like live LA people driving to work audience. Like I'm not scared to ask them to call in from their car. Part of the thing with the Ask a Pro column I did for Vela News for a long time was like the questions were all the same, or they're trying to be funny, and it's just like, well, here's a month where I don't have any questions I like.
Yeah.
Or I don't have anything I can like riff on well.
Yeah.
And it's tricky.
We'll see how it goes. I mean, it's a new format. I'm hoping, have guests on.
So far, this is going to kill it. This is all gold.
It's Oatmeal Raisin Federation is going to come after us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What if I got sponsored by...
oh, that's the good... Oh, this is the hook. Is Phil ready to sell out to Oatmeal Raisins? Would you sell out...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would,
What's your number?
Oh, what's my number?
Yeah. What would Oatmeal Raisin have to pay you to make a video, like a confessional video, that you've always loved Oatmeal Raisin cookies?
Nobody would fall for it, though. I think it'd be a great troll.
They'd think it's April Fool's.
It'd be like when Snoop announced he was going to quit smoke, and then it was an ad for the Solo Stove or something. That was brilliant.
That was really good.
But that went, I was mad at him. I was like, you actually got me worried about your, like, did he have lung cancer?
Yeah.
I went there when Snoop said he was going to quit smoke, and then I was like, oh, that was fantastic. I'm sure could I eat cookies when nobody's looking? Can I have chocolate chip cookies? Do I have to just eat one raisin on camera?
Exclusive contract.
I did a thing. I'm not going to have an answer for that, for the number. It's to never eat a chocolate chip. 1 year of no cookies, of no chocolate cookies, $75,000.
Wow. Okay.
Right? That's,
That's
I'm
pretty
not
reasonable.
I'm not doing,
Yeah.
Everyone does GoFundMe if they want to do that. I did a thing when I was raising money for No Kid Hungry. Someone asked how much to eat an oatmeal raisin cookie. Like if they donate $500, and I ate an oatmeal raisin cookie live on Instagram, and he gave $500, and I did a few of those. That was fun. I'll set it up. But you just know that I'm miserable. But we all essentially have to work for our money. So what's 4 minutes of being grossed out in exchange for cash? That's how it works. People have to do real jobs.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, eating oatmeal raisin cookies is a real job.
Yeah, I mean, that's worse than digging a ditch for sure.
All right, let's see if I have the right caller.
Hey, Mitch, just wondering, how do you keep cycling content creative over the long haul? I imagine it's easy to keep it going for a few months, but when you start talking about years and years, what is your plan to keep growing an audience? Thanks.
That was a good question. Let's see if Andy will answer. Keeping it interesting over the long run. Come on, Andy.
Hello.
Hi, is this Andy?
This is Jack Watson.
Hey, Jack Watson. Did you call in to a cycling podcast asking about how to keep content interesting over the long haul?
Yes,
Okay. I don't know why I thought your name was Andy. I had it saved in here as Andy. Now I'm incredibly embarrassed. This is
My
Mitch.
dad's phone.
I'm here with Phil Gaimon, and we're going to answer your question today.
Awesome.
What's up, Andy Jack?
So,
So,
give me a little context. What are you a content creator? Are you starting out? Have you been going for a while and you lost the flame? What's going on?
yeah, me and my brother Eli run a YouTube program called Bros Ride Bikes.
Oh,
I know these dudes.
we know
So-
you.
We're just wondering, like, how you keep coming with videos weekly. I mean, yeah, just putting that content out. Like, what do you have a strategy, a plan? Do you make something at the beginning of the year that it's your goal to accomplish? Like, what do you do?
We'll start at the back. Yeah, every year I have a goal. I have like an overarching mission, and I set a bunch of goals for what I want to achieve that year. So my personal mission for making all these videos is I just want people to see cyclists as real people and not just like a hittable object on the road. And the way I go about doing that is this podcast, making videos where I don't take myself too seriously. So everything that I do kind of points towards that North Star. And having that allows me to have like a wide range of content, but it all kind of feels like it fits in together. And then from there, I have like more actionable goals, like how many views I want to hit with my videos and how much revenue I want to make and that kind of stuff. I don't know. What about you, Phil? What do you do for each year as you're planning out?
I had a few thoughts. One, like I don't. I guess I learned this from racing. I don't like the views goal and the revenue goal because they say to steer away from results goals and focus on process goals.
All right, so
I'm
that's
not
the end
saying
of the
your goal setting
podcast.
is wrong,
I now have had a
but I don't want to recommend that. Like you don't want to say so Bros Ride Bikes. They ride bikes. They also race bikes, and they're good. But I would say, like, you don't want to say, I want to win this many races this year. You want to say, this year I want to improve on my pre-ride routine. I want to improve on my recovery days. I want to make sure I'm more consistent with my intervals and not that kind of thing. That would be like kind of the performance element of it. And I would also apply that to YouTube, which might be why Mitch has better growth and revenue than me. For a plan for years, when I first started, I'd have like a calendar, and this was like a very sponsor driven back then. Like sponsors, content. No one was really getting sponsors for content, so it was like you'll do these events, and I'd have a calendar of events that I'd have to provide to my sponsors every year, knowing that I was going to completely throw that out and not do any of it because better stuff was gonna pop up. So like responding to something that's more like topical or immediate or I'm not gonna say trending because that also wasn't a term then. But like I'm on year 8 or 9 of this, so like I feel like I at least like I say I have it figured out, but I'm at a comfortable. I don't have to have a plan to know that like something's gonna come up that's worth doing. Remember, like I had a calendars in my thing. I had things in my calendar, and then I had this Fabian Cancellara challenge me to race his Grand Fondo, and it's like, hey, Cannondale, I could do this thing that you're harassing me about, or I could go to this other thing that's going to be 8 million times more interesting and get an article in the Wall Street Journal. So what do you like? This is better for you if I ignore what you told me to do and do it. And that with some, I'm not with Cannondale anymore. With some brands that works, and you kind of have to find the sponsors and the audience, I guess, that appreciates that. But knowing
that flexibility
what's
is
cool.
important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I've spent a lot of money on YouTube courses. And one of the things in all the courses, it has different names, but like creating buckets of content. And so I have a bucket for like steep streets. I have a bucket for like how-to videos. I have a bucket for like adventure rides. And so one of the ways that helps me keep things fresh is that I have those videos that I know I'll kind of like work on in the future. So I'll kind of plan them out. And then like what Phil said with the Cancellara video, like if something else comes up, I always try to like experiment a little bit. And so even if it's a video outside of one of my like buckets of videos, I will, try that out. And if it works out really well, then that might become a new bucket. What do you guys have for your buckets?
Right now, it's like mostly we vlog all of our races.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think. I don't know. one thing that we've been struggling with, especially like in the off season when you're not racing. It's like, man, what YouTube videos can we put out right now? You know, so what are the chances of you and Phil doing a crit race next year?
Is there a number less than 0?
I want to keep my collarbones intact.
Think of the video. It could be sick.
I definitely that's the kind of racing I for sure retired from. I like racing. But when you get into the elbow bumping and the high speed and the I absolutely am too old for that. And I think about that and I can't believe I survived it. And in a lot of ways, I didn't. There's pieces of me in many continents. That's a different game.
Yeah, I don't think I would bounce back fast enough, and then I wouldn't be able to make any more content. So that's kind of the issue.
That's a place for you guys.
Yeah, exactly. That's your corner.
Yeah, so your off-season content would be goal setting for next year, right? You can talk about here's some things that here's what we're planning to do. Here's my approach. Here's some training. The thing is, everyone is doing their off-season video and then their base training video, but that's what people are going to be watching too, because that's what's going on. So I think there's an appetite for that. You're interesting guys, and just sharing what you're up to will continue to build an audience and be compelling.
Yeah. I like what you said about the training. I think there's something really there. If you guys are making vlogs throughout the race season, in the off season, going back, looking through that footage and finding things that you did well, things that you didn't do well, and talking through it and making videos about that could teach new racers. NorCal Cycling does this on some of his videos, but breaking down your races and how they worked, I think that's really valuable to people. So that's an idea. Dylan Johnson goes through and breaks down his whole race, but also his training plans, his bike setups, and all of that stuff can be made in the off season using the footage that you gathered during the season. Yeah. You don't have to go out and film 100% of a video every single time. You can use your existing footage and build off of that and use those building blocks to create a new video. So maybe there's some ideas in there with the footage you already have that you can build in the off season.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thanks for calling in. So sorry I called you Andy.
I will click on your training video.
My dad's phone, so I get how that could be.
Okay, there we go. Is your dad's name Andy, or is it just still a mystery?
Yeah.
Okay. Mystery solved.
Thank y'all so much.
Good to hear you, buddy.
Have a good one.
Yeah. See ya. Bye.
I love those dudes.
Yeah, they're great. Oh, man. I am mortified. Called him Andy. You straight up said my advice was bad. That whole call, man, I would.
Okay, now here's me asking you a question.
No, I think you're right.
How do you, if you have a revenue goal, how do you achieve that other than what you're going to do anyway, right? You're going to do your best and hope the numbers align.
No, that's a really good point. It's something that's out of your control. Views as well, because you can have an idea of how well a video will go, but it may not hit the audience. They may be tired of that idea. They might, you can't control how many people view it.
One of the advice I'll give young athletes is process goals, not performance goals.
Process goals, not
and
performance
that probably applies to everything. All I know is cycling, and then it's oh wait, that works for life.
What's the biggest life lesson cycling has taught you?
I think slowing down and setting a long-term goal. The thing that I burned my 20s on is setting a long-term goal and then looking at the steps to get to there, versus this is part of YouTube also. So this will go backwards. I'd have my whole calendar and my plan, and then I would just end up chasing my tail all year instead of doing what was in the plan. Yeah. And I think my racing career, now that I'm 9 years removed from it, I can look back and be that was a point where I made the wrong decision. So I was on Jelly Belly at 23, which is a good position to be at 23. I won a couple decent sized races that year. And then the end of that year, that team very famously paid shit. My salary was $2,000 for the year to be on that team. So I'm couch surfing, and I have a coaching business and prize money. All that's a lifestyle. That was most of us then. The end of that year, he offered me a raise to $6,000, which is still basically the same as $2,000. Yeah. and then another team offered 15, and it was that team was Kenda Pro Cycling, and they weren't getting invited to Tour of California. They didn't do Redlands. They were racing a lot in Asia. And to me, that $9,000 discrepancy was life-changing, but it made me doing races that were less relevant, that weren't as good for my development. And now I look back and like, I would happily pay the $9,000 times the 3 years I was on that team to have gone to the World Tour 2 years earlier had I developed better, had I learned more, had I been around better people and been doing more challenging races. And like, I had to do what I had to do, or at least I thought so at the time. And I didn't really have the advice to kick me in another direction. But that's something I think about, like the kids who are trying to go pro. Like, okay, if you're trying to go to the World Tour, you know, doing criteriums for prize money in the U.S., even if it makes you money, isn't going to actually help you there.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't get those years back, and it is what it is. So if you want to have 1 million subscribers, you know, like you probably know like a niche cycling channel. Well, GCN has 1 million subscribers. So like it can get there. There's room for that. If you want to battle Mike Tyson, you're probably not on the right path.
No.
Unless you run into him on Silver Lake Boulevard, which you might.
Never know.
Swing.
Oh, man. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot lately, like, what do I want to double down into the cycling community, or do I want to continue? Because my big videos tend to like have a bit more of like a mass appeal. But usually that appeal is this nerdy cyclist going to fall over on this steep street?
Right.
And, you know, there's only so many times you can fall over on a steep street.
I think about KOMs. I'm 39, and a lot of my videos are like, we've talked about this privately on rides, but like people want to look at the crazy watts that I do, which I won't be able to do when I'm 60. And I just think about like personally, a couple months ago, I did an event, like Whoop was a sponsor. They had me do this event in Orange County, and it was like a CrossFit deal, comparable, whatever. And I did a 5K run with Colleen Quigley, who was there as a Whoop runner. And, you know, we're just like running on the beach path, and I'm not trying to keep up with Colleen. I'm jogging, but like, it's a 5K, and I wasn't even killing it, and I was sore for a few days. And I get home, and I'm like, am I even an athlete? Like, am I even a healthy, fit person? Like, yes, I'm fast on a bicycle, but like, what the hell is going on? And as I approach 40, I'm going to have to think more about like, you know, longevity, overall health, bone density, stuff that like you can kind of not focus on when you're 25 and trying to win mountaintop finishes. But at some point, you don't want to neglect the general, like, you know, I can do one pull-up. So at some point,
that's like, amazing, actually.
it's not pretty, but I can get to
that's
get
the
my
one
chin
is good.
over it. Yeah. But it's like, shouldn't I be able to do? You know, don't you want to be able to do 10 if you just ask like a doctor?
Is that the standard?
I have no idea. I'm just picking a number, but I feel like it's more than one, and it's a lot prettier than the one that I did yesterday on the pull-up bar at the end of my ride.
Ooh, stop gloating. You can do you did it only yesterday.
So I don't know. So I think like my content is going to evolve into health, fitness, and like longevity via bicycle. Like I still, for my bike, love to ride, but maybe that opens doors into running or hiking or like outdoor gear that's not exactly cycling related. I don't know. Fingers crossed.
Phil Gaimon, the runner.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be a competitive runner, but like I want to be able to do, like I do a mile with my dog once a week since the 5K.
Yeah,
I'm like I force myself to do one run a week, and it's I have a loop that's exactly 1 mile, and we try to PR, and you know that's probably healthy for both of us.
What's the 1 mile PR with the pup?
We did 6 minutes and 13 seconds this morning.
That's
pretty good.
That's a quick pup.
That's cheating because she's pulling. You know, I'm getting help.
Yeah.
I think it's assisted.
Creature's pretty fast.
Well, yeah. I think she'll burn out. Like she's got a mile. Like she's noticeably slower at the end. She just sprints until she can't anymore. She doesn't know how to pace herself.
My older dachshund, when I lived in New York, I would take her for a run in quotes around Central Park.
Okay.
And it was a lot longer than 6.5 minutes. But I did take a lot of pride anytime we passed somebody, and I would hear like muttered under their breath, like passed by a wiener dog. It was the point of pride. So
passed by a dachshund is a little bit embarrassing. Although Creature's like wearing a pink sweater today, so it'd be similar. But we're just running on Ventura Boulevard. There's not a big running scene compared to Central Park.
When you were starting out as a cyclist, I'm curious, or like running in gym class, did you take pride passing people?
I mean, I was always like competitive, but I was never good. I wasn't good at anything until I started riding a bike.
Really?
And I was like kind of chubby. The competitive, I was into like, I grew up in Atlanta, I played basketball, and I was like kind of good at that until like I had a growth spurt, and then other kids got tall.
Okay.
And racing got a little, the basketball got a little more physical in high school, and then I was a wimp. So I got away from it. But I would say like I was a little competitive at that. I wasn't good enough to be competitive. I guess there's a threshold.
Cycling was the calling.
I wouldn't even, I was just like, I started riding bikes in college, and I was like kind of as good as the best guys on the college team. Like I was just doing it for fun. I was like, oh, I like riding bikes. Let's join the college club. I didn't know like that's a racing thing. I didn't even realize that was like going to be a racing season at the end of it. But I was kind of like riding at the front with the faster guys pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is the first thing I've ever been good at.
And took off from there.
Yeah, it was just obey that. Yeah, that's if you find out you're good at something, you should, do it more.
Yeah. That's
sense,
good.
Right?
Another good life lesson
it's
from
the world
cycling.
Telling you.
All right. Well, we'll wrap it up with our rapid fire question round, where I ask some of the most divisive questions in the cycling world.
Okay, more divisive than oatmeal raisin versus chocolate chip.
They are the cycling world oatmeal raisin versus chocolate chip. All right. I did a timer last week on the first episode, and you couldn't even hear the timer on it, so we're not going to do a timer. We're just going to ask the questions. Rim brakes or disc brakes?
Disc brakes, it's if you live somewhere flat, you probably don't need the stopping power. But like, I notice, I didn't notice that rim brakes. I never thought they were bad, but like living in LA, there's a lot of steep streets, as Mitch might have made aware. If you fly around a bend and someone's coming out of their driveway and you're going down any of the canyons in Hollywood, you come to a stop a few feet shorter with disc brakes, and it's noticeable. And I didn't feel unsafe on my rim brakes until I went back, like, oh, I'll ride today on my rim brakes, and then I'm like, oh crap, this is a little bit. It's noticeably safer.
Is it that bad? I've never like had a carbon rim brake bike.
It's not that bad, but it is a noticeable improvement in the stuff, especially like carbon rims. Like aluminum rims are a lot closer, and then they switched to carbon. And I did a lot of like racing on wet carbon rims, which is just terrifying.
Yeah.
Like you just slam the brakes and you learn how to do it, but like you squeeze the brakes and they start stopping a second and a half later.
Oh, scary.
And then the modulation's not there, and they're more likely to lock up. It's a better performance thing. There's still like a few. So like for my pure KOM videos, I will bring the rim brake bike because that half pound matters, or at least I can convince myself it matters.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like I do 100% of my training on the disc brakes.
If you could only have one, it would be disc brakes.
Yeah, it'd be, and you can get those bikes light enough now. It's not a huge. All the guys, all the World Tour guys are racing on it for a reason.
There you go.
But it's like a little bit harder to travel with, a little bit harder to work on. Like I get it. If you live in Florida, I'm going to say like you're never going that fast that you need to slow down that fast, especially if you do the rims surface. So I didn't answer your question.
That's fine. Nobody ever does. I saw your Miami KOM video in Key Biscayne.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My brother-in-law took me there, and he's like, "We got mountains here. We got hills." And
amazing. Have they taken you to Claremont yet?
No, I haven't been to Claremont.
The real hills in Florida, like kind of between Orlando and Tampa. There was actually like one climbing race. 'Cause I went to school in Gainesville, so way north. But there was one, I'm going to say actual climbing race, but it did come down to the hills, and there's a lot of rolling. There's no climbs, but not far from there. So that's like the San Antonio, Dade City was that race. And then there's Claremont has Sugarloaf Mountain, they call it. I did a video. I lost that KOM, but I did a video where I got the KOM, and that was like a minute 20.
Oh,
and
wow.
that was that's the second highest point in Florida, behind there's like a trash heap, it's like dump somewhere that has the highest point in Florida. The second highest was Sugarloaf Mountain. And I do finger quotes when I say Sugarloaf Mountain.
Wait, it's a real trash heap? Like they paved over the top of it or something?
Yes.
Wow.
And they used to have a crit on there, and I wish I was making that up. There was a crit course that went up the dump.
There's some kind of hidden meaning in that.
Florida has just like a great charm to it, especially the part where I live. There's like a redneck charm in Gainesville. It's very different from Miami. Miami has a different kind of like a ethnic charm. Gainesville was just proper country barbecue and rednecks, and it's good times.
Yeah, I've never experienced that part of Florida. This is a horrible rapid fire round question, but I'm interested. I've never been to that part of Florida. I've always only been to Miami.
It's not. Yeah, it's not much. I will. Sorry, now that we're ruining your rapid fire, but Gainesville, Florida, I believe was like very early in the whole gravel movement, and I can't say it was invented there, but they were doing like group rides. Like when I was in college there, they were doing group rides. This is 2007, 8. They were doing like Lime Rock group rides. So there's all kinds of really good, like I would train on the dirt roads there on my 23C tires, but they had kind of competitive group rides that I wasn't kind of in the club of doing, but very early in the gravel scene, kind of that part of the country.
Well, speaking of tires, that's the next rapid fire round question. Oh, such a good segue. Tubeless or tubed?
Tubeless.
You're just a modern man.
Well, I've just spent so many time. I've just had to change so many flats in my life, and I went to tubeless, and it's like, I don't know, 10% what I used to. It's not even close. Like just I triple flat. I still have memories of the time I got 3 flats on doing Mount Baldy in like 100 degrees, and it's just like those days are like really over. I just don't flat that often, and I don't really see what the upside is in the tubes anymore. Like I guess it's easier to set up. That's the only like setting up tubeless is kind of messy.
Have you had a full like blowout on a tire with sealant everywhere?
Yeah, it's happened. But it's not, I've had full on blowouts with clinchers and I think that was it's a little bit sloppy at first. Like some of the tires didn't fit the rims for the first few years. It was kind of a pain in the butt when it first came out, but it has the worst thing about riding a bike is changing a flat and how often it is. Like I don't know if Emily's ever changed a flat.
Really?
You know what I mean? Like it's been a long time.
Yeah. Because she just
like
always
you can
has been on.
If you get into bike riding now, like flats aren't that big of a part of it.
And if they do happen, it's catastrophic. So.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah. Which would have happened anyway with the tube.
Yeah, no, you can put a tube in it. When it's flats, you just put a tube in it. It's not a big deal.
The only thing that it's cleaning the sealant, because if you don't clean it right away, it's stuck all over your bike.
Yeah,
I've ruined bib shorts with sealant. That's kind of the.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, poor me. I get my bib shorts for free, but I still love them. It's like I've ruined like my favorite pair of bib shorts before. But
I'd say the biggest challenge I have in a tubeless is like if I leave the bike on, if I don't ride my mountain bike for a few weeks and then the sealant has like dried up in there.
Yeah.
And I like that would be the problem. So like you think you're set up tubeless, but you're not actually. The sealant's gone bad in there. That's a punishment for going too long without riding a bike.
Yeah, I gave my dad my gravel bike like 3 years ago, a few months ago. He's like, I haven't ridden it all year, and I got a flat. I don't think the sealant is working anymore. Or what it's, man, I butchered that story. I'm sorry. All right, well, you get the point. Final question.
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Just watching my slow mental decline toward the end of this episode.
If this was rapid fire in a war, we'd both be dead.
Oh, it's so
We'd be finished.
Aero or lightweight?
Lightweight. Like aero matters more than I want it to. I don't like the research. I don't like the internet dorking. I went through that like when I was 21, 22. I remember like researching which tubes were best for rolling resistance. And then like you get on teams that do that research for you. And I retired from that too. I retired from like dorking on forums to find out what's fast and looking at the whatevers. Like I'm a year behind all those trends and it's fine. But weight's a lot simpler.
Weight's the thing.
Yeah.
Do you ever see yourself like making a ultralight like forever bike out of like titanium or something? Or is it carbon always?
I'm a big fan of carbon.
Yeah.
And I mean, no, I don't know. I don't. The only time I ever had speed wobbles was a neutral bike that was titanium, and I'm like just afraid of titanium because it scared the crap out of me once when I was like 22, and I'm guessing titanium's fine. But I don't know. The carbon bikes are getting more aero and lighter, and that's just gonna keep creeping in that direction. And I'll go where like the market goes, I guess. Like my bike has gotten more aero whether I want it to or not, and it's true. Fine.
That's a good point with the debate. Is like just stay lightweight. Eventually, it'll become aero too.
Right. It's they do it.
That's great. Well, Phil, thanks so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, good times, dude.
What do you got going on? What do you got to promote? And then what's something somebody else has that you want to share?
Oh, I forgot what I told you I was going to... Well, I'll promote my events. That's probably the thing I work the hardest on outside of my content. And so Phil's Cookie Fondo, end of October. We don't have a date yet for that. I wait till we have the permits so we announce a date. And then we have the gravel event, Whiskey Tango Fondo. That is April 26, 27. That one's going good. And we cap that at 500 riders. So people actually have to sign up. We don't cap that. It's just there's only so many hotel rooms in Lone Pine, California. So it's naturally capped at people have to stay somewhere.
Yeah. And you want to get a hotel room. Because I drove in this year.
People camp.
I drove out. It was tough.
People do camp. Yeah, you don't want to drive in the morning.
Yeah.
Camping up there is legendary.
Yeah.
But it's if you're not a camper, you're not a camper.
It's so pretty over there. It's worth it camping, and then you stay under the stars.
Even if you're scared to do a gravel event, go up there and hang out.
Just
it's a special
go
part
camping.
of the world that nobody does.
Pay the gravel fee. Pay the
or don't go next week and just go hike up Mount Whitney or something.
Yeah.
I don't need your. Yeah, it's fine. But people should know about that part of.
It's amazing. Yeah.
And then the cookie fondo. What was I going to promote? That was somebody else.
I think it was a friend's restaurant.
Oh yeah, that's a nice job. The one thing that has been cool about Los Angeles, I landed here for weather and nice bike riding, and then I got stuck here because I've just met a ton of cool people who do cool shit. And yeah, I think when you told me that was going to be a question, I had just got back from my friend Dave Barron's new restaurant called Saline. Saline is a salt solution. Saline is the name of the restaurant, but it's the super fancy tasting menu and the wine pairing. And ever since I I was working with No Kid Hungry, and there was all these chefs who were doing it, and I kind of fell into. I was just a person what do you want to spend so much on a dinner for? And I didn't get it. And then you do it, it's oh, this is an art, this is an experience, this is a vacation, essentially, and it's super memorable and really a good value for what you get. And Dave Barron, James Beard winner, and rides bikes, and just opened a new spot that we got to try, and it was awesome. And people, if you live in LA, you should, or any city that has stuff like that, you should give it a try. Find the Michelin joints and find the tasting menus, and it's a whole thing that I believe is those people work their butts off, and they're good at it.
Yeah, it's a whole experience.
Yeah, I think the thing I miss most from racing is the excellence. Is just this is the whole point of your existence, to be good at this one thing, and there's a spare no expense. And here's the mechanics are better than the guy at the bike shop down the street. The World Tour mechanics can do it leaning out a window at 40 miles an hour. The massage therapists, they can find the nut in your mouth. Just that experience was just so sacred to know that it exists. And the only place, you go, and I'll go to the LA Philharmonic and look down, and it's oh, I know those guys.
Yeah.
The guy playing the violin, he lives in a shitty apartment.
Yeah.
He makes shit money, and this is the only moment that he feels alive every week, or however often he's doing this, is when he's performing here. And the food is a thing that people can taste and experience and try, that has that same level of focus and excellence that I think it's worth. I'd want to just work there and wash dishes, just be around it.
That's awesome. Celine.
Celine.
Celine. All right.
Cool.
Thanks again, Phil. We'll have to do this again.
Attaboy. Yeah, thank you.